What is going on today, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Today, I just wanted to address a question that I had gotten, which is, can you haul fuel with zero driving experience? And the answer is, well, the short answer is yes, absolutely you can. Uh, Dirty Broke's daughter, I believe, Slim, Hazmat Slim. She started out in trucking in fuel hauling with Gemini. And I believe she's been doing it for over 3 years now, and she's had no issues. She had a great trainer in her dad and several other people that helped get her up to speed. And there's been multiple other examples as well. Yes, you can do this because this job is not super hard. I've done way harder jobs, not just mentally, but also physically, as far as different jobs within trucking. Obviously, food delivery was way physically harder. It was also kind of mentally harder because of the stresses that job puts you under. Now, again, I'm not going to claim that this job is for everyone because that's certainly not the case. There's a lot of mundane parts to this job. Generally, you're going to the same stores over and over and over again. They might switch it up. For example, I might go down to Colorado, help out with those stores. I might go to a few different stores in Wyoming, or even go out to Nebraska to a few stores. But most of the time, I'm going to be servicing just 2 or 3 stores within Wyoming. So if that bothers you and you have to have constant change all the time, probably not the job for you. Also, if you cannot pay attention and be on your game mentally all the time, also not the job for you, because this job does require that you be on your game all the time, at least mentally. You have to pay attention. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you have to be able to pay attention to what you're doing constantly, because there are no small mistakes in fuel hauling. As far as, if you don't pay attention, yes, you can have huge mistakes where you overload a trailer, or you drop gasoline into a diesel tank, or diesel into a gasoline tank, or you have a mixed load, or you have an incomplete load where you don't actually load all of the ethanol in before stopping the load, or vice versa. There's so many different things that you can do if you're just not paying attention. That being said, if you can pay attention and be on your game about it and set up that habit, which, if you can set up the habit to where you're doing everything the exact same way every single time, and it's just become a routine. Now, it doesn't mean you get complacent about it. Don't get me wrong there, but it just becomes a routine to you, so that you're always doing things the same exact way, and you have, you're not just double checking, you're triple checking, you're quadruple checking what you're doing. This is a very easy job because you are doing the same exact thing for the most part, with very little variation, pretty much every single day. And so the only issue is, again, getting complacent and not paying attention. So if that's an issue for you, or you're just not able to pay attention mentally and you can't do basic math, probably not the job for you. However, those two things aside, if you do that, you can do it. So just want to throw that out there. Now, there are parts of this job, especially if you're starting out at a smaller company, or you're starting out at a place that is not a truck stop, because at the bigger places like Pilot and Love's, we have a lot of room to work with driving, which helps if you're a newer driver. You're not having to maneuver into tight spaces, or back into tight spaces, or back out of tight little gas stations like I've done before. Then yeah, that can be more of a challenge for a new driver, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. It's just going to depend upon your skill level as a driver. That being said, if you just go slow, you're not in a hurry, that's where you're going to make 95% of your mistakes in this job. Let alone trucking, certainly in trucking as well. If you're in a hurry, turn that light back on. It's a little dark in here. If you're able to slow down and learn the job and learn how to drive first, and then gradually speed up as you go versus being worried about getting in a hurry, then you're not going to have a lot of issues and you can do this job. The reality is, because it is more mundane and it is the kind of the same thing over and over again, most younger people, most younger guys and gals for that matter, it seems like they tend to stick away from it because, again, the average age of the average fuel hauler has to be in his or her 40s or 50s. There's not a lot of young guys out here. There are, but from what I've seen, they don't generally stick, or at least majority of them anyways, from what I've seen. Could be wrong, but from what I've seen, majority of the younger guys don't tend to stick it out in fuel hauling because it is more mundane. They're not looking for that steady job. They're looking for something that's more exciting, more adventurous, or something that is going to scratch that itch. So it just depends on how you are as a person. And if you know yourself well, if you know what you want, if you are looking for something more steady, something more consistent, this is, again, by far the most consistent trucking work that I've ever done. Again, coming up on 3 years in fuel hauling, I've never had a week slower than 48 hours. So if you're new to the industry and you are looking to get into fuel hauling, or you're just finding out about it, I would encourage you, hey, go through my videos, go through Dirty Broke 215's videos, go through Triple R Truck Talks videos, and do your research and make sure it's right for you, and see if you want to stick it out long term, because it is a great place, certainly at Gemini, and there's other great fuel hauling companies out there that will be a great career in the long run. And don't let anybody discourage you. Don't let the gatekeepers of this industry discourage you from trying to find a job in fuel hauling, because, again, you are going to make a great wage. Certainly, even on the lower end, you're going to make a higher wage than the average truck driver. So with that being said, if you guys have any videos that you want me to do specifically, or any specific video topics that you want me to cover, I'd be happy to do it. Just let me know in the comment section down below. Or if you think I'm wrong and this specific industry of fuel hauling can't be done by a new driver, certainly let me know in the comment section down below. We can have a discussion down there. Otherwise, if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. God bless.